the best magic act I have seen.
That was an amazing act. Yeah, amazing.
You've got everything, and that was jaw-dropping.
Happy jackrhodes, thank you. Good night.
It all comes down to this.
One of you is about to win £250,000.
All right. Past few weeks have been a bit mad. So here's a guy that used to do green screen parodies to make it look like he'd been on Britain's Got Talent. I then actually go on the show for real and somehow make it all the way to the final. For this to then happen.
The winner of Britain's Got Talent 2024 is...
Let me just stop you there though. This video, right, I'm going to be setting the record straight, talking you through everything Britain's Got Talent, giving you a peek behind the curtain, show you the whole process and, you know, give the real story of how this clown came second.
Sydney Christmas!
First of the losers. It's got a nice ring to it. Not that I'm bothered. So, fans of the channel will know that a couple of years ago I made a parody pretending that I went on the show as a deaf mind reader. Simon, just name any word, right? But bear in mind, bit deaf, so you know, say it loud.
Chopsticks.
Yes, breadsticks. I am inside your head right now, eh? How's that? Mind reading. And the whole thing was filmed in my garage. Here's the process. First off, I'm searching for all the different Got Talent clips I can find, right? Pulling all sorts of different questions from the judges, reactions from the crowd, and anything that I think could be quite funny.
Absolute dog shit. Yeah.
I'm then stitching these clips together in my head and developing the framework for some sort of fake act, right? Then I've got to remove the original acts from the footage, giving me loads of different backgrounds to work with in the edit. Good to go. And at this point I can now film all my bits in my garage against a green screen and then spend an ungodly amount of time inside editing, like the sad little human hermit crab that I am. It's a very long, very time-consuming process. The thing is, I do this sort of thing a lot. This is where we start to muddy the waters, right? I want you to forget everything you've just seen and cast your mind back to an act that appeared on Britain's Got Talent in 2022. We're talking about the invisible magician, the Phantom. Picture the scene. There's an empty stage, 4 judges and a crowd waiting to be entertained. It's Britain's Got Talent, you know the crack. Anyway, who walks onto the stage? Well, no one. That's the point, it's the invisible magician, innit? It wouldn't be very good if you could see him.
You can't see me.
Long story short, the Phantom spins round invisibly on his chair. He presses one of the judges' buzzers and then pops a balloon stood right next to Amanda. That's the abridged version, yeah? Now, the audition airs and the video goes viral on YouTube. It's doing numbers. But there's a similar looking video that keeps getting recommended right next to the real one, claiming to reveal how the magic tricks are done. That's a bit naughty, isn't it? You click on the video and what you're presented with, some gangly tool called Jack Rhodes. That's me, by the way, in case you've forgotten. That's right, I made a video claiming that the Phantom was me.
A master of deception, Jack has fooled audiences all over the disc with his world-class sleight of hand demonstrations. But one skill he has never revealed is his uncanny ability to remain undetected whilst in clear line of sight. He operates in the shadows, and through his clever use of lighting, his dark, practically invisible costume, and the ability to adapt to any situation, Jack is able to operate invisibly, like a real-life Batman. You need to train your eyes to be able to see Jack work in the shadows.
All I need is some goggles and a swimsuit.
Now you know what to look for. See if you can spot him in the footage.
You can't see me. You will never see me. Right now. I'm standing right in front of one of the judges.
No. What?
I stole it to teach a lesson in loss.
Now, because this reveal was getting shown alongside the proper audition on YouTube, it got seen by a lot of people. And a lot of these people, for some reason, weren't buying the whole invisible swimsuit thing.
It still doesn't make sense. Just wasted 3 minutes, 11 seconds of my life.
That's what she said.
You had nothing to reveal. Even children knows you don't have the answer you claim.
I risked a lot professionally by revealing that the Phantom was me. I wasn't meant to do that. That was meant to stay an industry secret, yeah? To be fair, I did throw in a red herring claiming that I filmed it all against a green screen in my garage, but that was just a silly joke. You don't want to be reading too much into that.
You can't see me.
Anyway, cut to 2 years later, and I'm now stood on the stage of Britain's Got Talent for real, allegedly, and I'm claiming that I've already been on the show.
I'm pretty surprised you don't recognise me. I might have been on before. Do you remember the invisible magician, the Phantom?
Yes. Yes.
That might have been me.
No.
You can't see me. You'll never see me. Judges.
No.
I then asked Simon to write down the first word that comes to mind when he looks at me.
Remember, it's a family show.
Yeah.
And no, he didn't write.
What have we got? Cucumber.
I don't know why.
It's the tall, skinny cucumber arms.
He took one look at me and thought, this guy's clearly a vegetable. The cucumber card went in Simon's hands, and then I got my own back with my own word for him.
And when I look at you, the first word that comes to mind is minted.
I put the minted card in Bruno's hands, and then without even moving, the cards switched places.
That's it.
I then explained how I did this with an action replay in slow motion, explaining that the whole thing's an out-of-body experience that can move undetected, and then the mysterious swimsuit man appears from behind me and swaps the cards around. Apparently, I didn't see him, but I've been told he was there.
Job done. Undetected.
Then, after admitting that the explanation is a lie...
Really, I'm lying. Show him.
I revealed that the real secret to the whole thing is I always knew what word Simon was going to think of.
Uploaded 6 months ago. You were only ever going to think of one word. Cucumber.
That's unbelievable.
I then thanked the judges for the time.
Thanks for having me. Take it.
And then the swimsuit guy who never existed in the first place disappears. There was lots of speculation about who this guy was, by the way. Is it Jamie? Is it me dad? Is it me dog, Wally? I'm not going to reveal who the mystery man is, but what I will say is that initially I wanted this person, I said it'd be ideal if they looked like me, right? And they went, all right, yeah. Okay, so we just need a 6-foot skinny guy with prominent ears. Prominent ears, that's what they said. He was wearing a mask. You can't even see his ears. The weird thing was, right, I had no idea how that whole audition was going to be edited, right? The routine was intentionally designed so that you couldn't really cut much out without the rest of it making any sense, but I still had no idea what the reception was going to be like and how it was going to be sort of broadcast at home. I got lucky because it made it onto the big opening weekend of the show, second episode of Britain's Got Talent on the Sunday night, and it was nice because it was well received, right? Even if people couldn't quite tell what was a joke and what wasn't.
My dad used to call me a part-time wizard. Sorry, full-time moron.
I mean, I didn't help by muddying the waters with a fake expose of how I did it.
These leaked photographs show just how far Jack Rhodes' deception lies. Here's a quick video clip leaked online that shows how the footage looked before editing.
I think at the end of this, you'll either be going, wow.
Did you see what the morph suit man was holding? That's right. A cucumber, with the morph suit man waving his green girth around in the background. Simon has no choice but to name the word Jack is about to predict.
Cucumber?
Because the cucumber is also green, it too can be removed digitally in post as it is the same color as the morph suit. Jack used the exact same method for every phase of this trick. Here is what was actually in the box when Jack slammed it open. The morph suit man is covering the swimsuit man so it looks like he has vanished. They say that there's an impressive method behind every magic trick. I think Jack's audition proves that there are exceptions to every rule.
Anyways, the audition airs, right? And then sometime after that, I get the call. I'm in the live semi-finals, right? The key bit there being live, as in live broadcast to 7 million people watching at home on the telly. And this time, I've got a bit of a budget. So what did I spend the budget on? Nothing too crazy, I just, you know, just blew myself up. Bit of context, I had a TV, I pulled a deck of cards out from a pic of me as a kid, which eagle-eyed fans will spot is a bit of an Easter egg from the other parodies where I'm talking about my childhood, right? Remember this picture?
Please don't worry about it. Simon, take a card out.
Keep going.
Keep going. You work it. I tell you what, Amanda, do you want to pick a card? I'm joking. Go on, take a card.
Simon takes a card and after taking ages to pick one, which by the way was not planned, right? I knew his favourite card was the Seven of Hearts. I was trying to get him to pick the Seven of Hearts. He didn't pick the right one, and then this happened.
That one.
That one. Free choice, yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favourite card?
Seven of Hearts.
Have a look. Would have been good, wouldn't it? That'd have been good. Sign your name nice and big. I've not done that yet.
Arguably it went better because he didn't pick the right one. I got a round of applause for a joke. TV alter ego Jack, which is weird because that's me. Let's say the other Jack is now directing me to get in the crate of death, right?
The crate of death? Are you having a laugh? I'm not getting in that. Can't we have the crate of no risk whatsoever?
No, that's the only one they had.
Got to find Simon's card whilst I'm in the crate. Anyway, you know what's coming. A big bang. And when I tell you it was a big bang, right? You should have been there in a theatre. My days did people poo their pants, right? What a moment that was. Deafening. It was class. Anyway, old Jackie boy's disappeared. Where's he gone? Well, whole routine comes full circle as I now climb out of the TV in an illusion that's never been done before like this. It looked unreal. And you should have seen the faces of the judges when I climbed out of that telly, right? I'll always remember that. What a moment. I'm looking round and their face, honestly, the buzz in that moment and before I'd even climbed out the telly, the audience is on the feet. It was unreal, right? And then I sort of clamber down, nearly fall out of the thing because I got my leg stuck, and then show Simon his signed card. Have a bit of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been jackrhodes. Thank you. Good night.
This is the sort of thing, by the way, that had I done that in the audition stage, you could have easily dismissed it as being edited, but because it was live telly, it's so much stronger. You know, how's he gone from being in that box, getting blown up, to now climbing out the telly?
I can't tell if that went well or not.
A standing ovation for magic!
It's unheard of.
Amazing.
And the judges' comments, you couldn't have asked for nicer things. I'm going to put this brew down because this sipping's going to get in the way of the old storytelling game.
I love the fact that you take the mickey out of yourself, but actually you are a show-off in the best way, because believe me, that was incredible.
I'm getting this feedback from the judges and I'm stood there thinking, a couple of years ago, I'd have been editing myself into this with a green screen. Now I'm actually here for real. What is going on?
As Alicia said, you're very self-effacing, you put yourself down a lot, and then at the bottom of it all, you are very talented and excellent at what you do. That was an amazing act.
And later on, as I'm standing waiting to hear which of the acts are through to the final, I'm also thinking, you know what? I'm happy with that. That was the best gig ever. Live at the Hammersmith Apollo on primetime telly. I've just done my dream magic act, right? It's very me. The whole alter ego Jack thing is like an extension of what I do on here on YouTube and the vids and that, and I'm happy with that. Like, no matter what happens, whether I get through or not, I'm a happy man. That was amazing. Best thing in the world. I also got the world's best photo out of it. I mean, how's this for a photograph? That couldn't be any better. And it looks edited, but that spotlight highlighting my head is real. It's one of the lights they had on the floor on the stage behind me. That, as a moment, I'll never forget. I then find out
The winner of tonight's semi-final going straight through to Sunday's final is...
I won the damn thing.
Jack Rhodes!
That's a genuine reaction, by the way. That's me going, like, I'm dead inside, right? Well, at least it looks that way. I didn't have a clue what just happened. I wasn't expecting my name to come out. And the only thing I could think of saying was, that's good.
Jack, you're the winner.
Right, that's good.
That's good.
Imagine winning the Britain's Got Talent semi-final by public vote and the only words that come into your head are, that's good. Dead inside. Now, my semi-final was Tuesday night, right? The grand final is Sunday night.
You got to come back again and do it on Sunday.
Is that when the final is? Yeah, Sunday.
Yes.
Right, I best sort an act out of that.
You better. Right. You better.
But you have to have an act ready for rehearsals Saturday morning. So I had 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to come up with my finals act, as opposed to the, 6 weeks I had to make the semis. And I was getting nervous, especially after Simon's comments.
You, right now, are the favourite to win the entire competition.
And what people had seen of me from the audition through to the semi-final was very much in keeping with what I always thought my live persona would be, right? In fact, a couple of lines here and there were in circulation way back when I was doing the old comedy circuit at pubs and clubs in the north of England, right?
I used to call myself a part-time wizard. My dad used to call me a full-time...
Granted, I did have to clean it up a bit for telly. And in the back of my head, I kind of roughly knew what I wanted to do if I made it to the final, right? It's a format I've been doing for a long time now on video. You know what it is. The old lie detector hat, yeah? I remember the first time I came up with that idea, filmed it, hadn't thought of digitally editing the colour onto the bulb, right? So I had my mates Paul and Stan flashing a torch, right? They were literally doing that. Flashing the torch when it was meant to buzz, pointing it at my head, right? And it looked crap.
Now then, it's nice to see you. I've got... It's just Paul doing this.
Just me, look, doing this.
No. Let's try it again. I've got a lie detector test hooked up to it. I'm going to see how many times I mispronounce hooked up to me. 4 dice, and using 4 dice and a completely normal cup.
But once I figured out I could digitally light the bulb red or green, it changed the game forever.
A magic trick with a lie detector.
Alright, I've stuck a light bulb on a top hat. It's not even a trick, this is how playing cards are manufactured in the factories. Alright, I'm just restoring a card piece by piece and pretending that there's an actual reason for it, yeah? Last piece though, is the hardest piece. The last piece is as hard as all the other pieces. Alright, the last piece is the easiest, but it sounds more impressive if you say that the last piece is the most difficult. Here we go. A fully restored playing card. A fully restored card. Once you sort out that last edge and seal it up, yeah? That's magic. No, really. That's magic, because I wrote magic on the card, yeah? I'm not lying, am I? I'm not an idiot. Now I can just do it however I want on video, right? Which is great for video, but once I'd auditioned and I knew it had gone well, I started working on getting one of these hats made for real, so I could actually do it in my live shows and potentially use it in the final.
But now it gives a whole new perspective on the magic, doesn't it? The mystery. The mumbo-jumbo nonsense.
The idea being, if I got through, at some point I'd put it on Simon's head, right? But that seemed like a really long shot, but I got into the final, didn't I? So now, and this is genuine now, I tried it out properly in front of people only 3 times, right? And each time there were issues that needed to be figured out.
So now you know if I'm telling the truth, now you know if I'm lying about simple things like a knife, a fork. Not as thick as I look.
I went from trying the hat out at a work in progress show in a working men's club to about 40 people.
Nice to meet you, mate. Sorry. No, he's the top man.
That was the second time I ever used it. The third time I ever used it was on Simon Cowell's head. Live broadcast to 7 million people. Talk about a risk. And that's a good point, right? Before we get to the finals act, it's worth pointing out that each act from the audition to the semi-final to the final, each of them is a bespoke act created around the format of the show for telly. I'd never done the whole cucumber minted thing with a swimsuit man. That was new. That was the first time doing that. I'd never done a big illusion thing before. That was the first time doing that. You know, climbing out of a TV and getting blown up. It's not like I'm doing that in my videos, is it? And this routine for the final was the first time I'd done anything like that, really. You know, I'd done it a couple of times, but what I did have to my advantage was that people were getting to know me throughout the course of the show, and so I could start making personal jokes that I might have avoided otherwise, like leaning on the whole thing about me leaving my day job as a nuclear engineer to do magic.
I did have a normal job.
Which was?
Which was a nuclear engineer.
Flipping heck!
Which makes me sound cleverer than I am, to be fair.
I leaned on that again for the final with the whole hat thing, and it kind of went full circle.
Back from my days as a nuclear engineer, back when I had a proper job. Years of development, millions of pounds, and they don't know I've nicked it.
But it was a risk with a hat, especially after, you know, the spectacle of the semi-final, to then go so small with your final act. Because you can't really go bigger than blowing yourself up and climbing out of a TV, right? There's no climbing that. You've got to go small. The point I'm making is to then go so small and make it all about the delivery and the personality, right, while every other act in the final is going big. That's a ballsy thing to do. Like, the majority of the act, there was no music, no production, just me telling jokes and doing a couple of tricks. It could have quite easily been too much of a shift that would have switched people off. Granted, I did make a little joke about the whole budget thing at the start, which I enjoyed doing that.
I'll be honest, that's most of the budget gone. That's all the budget gone.
And also at this point, I am so tired, like so knackered. My head had popped. You got this entire single focus up until the Sunday night. It's so draining, like to the point where 20 minutes before I went on stage, I had a nap. Not because I was so chilled out, because I was that tired I couldn't keep my eyes open, like it was madness. My head was fried. And I was so nervous as well about the fact that I thought Simon might turn around and say, "You're not putting that thing on my head." I mean, you can't tell when you watch it back, but I'm bricking it up until the point where Simon lets me put it on his head. Can you imagine, right? Imagine if he didn't let me do it. That would have killed the whole thing. Luckily, he went with it, and the result was glorious.
Is your favourite judge yourself?
Yes.
It was just him getting broken down by this hat.
My magic, yeah? Is it as good as Bruno's dancing?
It's better.
Cheers, mate.
Question after question, to the point where he was just completely lost for words by the end. He didn't have anything left in him. It was amazing.
Simon.
Sorry, tell me again.
Just forget it.
And I see a lot of people online always thinking that the judges are in on it, and listen, right, they're not. All right, when I put that hat on Simon, they were all genuinely reacting in that moment. Amanda was loving it.
Come on, big man, let's slap this on your head. Here we go. Here we go, let's get it strapped in.
There's lots of questions I'm going to ask you.
I mean, at one point she went, "Please, someone turn this into a meme."
Look at that, it's just so funny. Please turn this into a meme.
And they did, by the way. Look at this. 10,000 likes on a picture of this stupid hat idea I came up with 2 years ago. Unreal. Thing is, though, to me, the final was never really about the trick, right? Although the trick is good, right? I borrowed Amanda's ring.
Is that
Am I
okay?
going to get it back?
Are you going to get it back? 50-50.
Made it disappear in a cup. For it to then reappear in the bulb that had been on Simon's head the whole time, right? Good trick, and it got an amazing, genuine reaction off the judges.
I
can't believe that. No, that was absolutely brilliant. You are so crafty.
But that act was never about the trick. It was more about just trying to have a laugh, show off my personality a bit and show off a bit of range. And I went into the results stage of the final so happy with how everything had gone, from audition through to final, that I genuinely didn't mind where I placed, right? And it was such a buzz and a relief. Once I'd done my act, I actually didn't mind if I'd lost, if I'd won. I was just glad to be there. As it turned out, I did quite well, right? Clearly people liked what I did, and I made it into the final 2.
Just 2 acts remain. Jack Rhodes and Sydney Christmas. One of you is about to win £250,000.
And let me tell you, they don't half milk them bum-bums.
The winner of Britain's Got Talent 2024 is...
You know what I'm talking about by bum-bum. God. If I hear that sound again, I'll get PTSD, I reckon. In the end, Sydney Christmas took the win.
Sydney Christmas!
Fully deserved, by the way. I was in the room when she sang. She blew the roof off. Absolute unreal singer, super talented, and she smashed it from day one into the final. So genuinely, no part of me was bitter or gutted. I was just buzzing to be in the final 2, and I kind of knew she'd won just by the response in the room after she'd finished her act. Like, she nailed it, right? Although I did get my own back a little bit. She was on a morning television show the morning after, and I green screened myself. Try and do it without spitting. I green screened myself into the background of the video.
Do you remember anything about that moment when they said, you know, because we were talking this morning, they take it down from 11.
Oh,
like,
awful.
it's a big moment on the show. I was watching it last night.
That was hideous.
Do you remember?
That was the most scariest thing ever.
Same.
I was just shaking.
Yeah.
When we all was.
Sydney Christmas!
Have you thought about the Royal Variety performance and performing for the King? And
Not me.
That's amazing. I just want to shake. I just can't believe it. I can't wait.
I'll go.
I can't wait, and I'm just so thankful
Cheers.
that everyone sees something in me.
This whole thing started with a parody, so I thought it's pretty poetic to end with one. I've had a good chat with her since, and we're both made up that we're going into the final 2. Sydney's going to go off and do amazing things, and I'm now set up for life thanks to the show. The whole thing, from me quitting my job to try and do this magic thing full time, has been a process of trying out new things, seeing what happens, because why not do it while you can? You know, a couple of years down the line, there might not have been an option. And there's a video not many people have seen that I uploaded in August last year, where I first took my career break to try and pursue magic full time, and I set out my plan. Listen to this, and now think about where I am today. It boggles the mind.
I might regret making this. It's the biggest thing I've tried yet. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's me trying to do this magic and content stuff full time. I've got 8 months to try and make it work, and if it doesn't work, I'll go back to my normal job. And it's very nice that they can arrange that for me. So I've got a chance to try and make it. And this video will be either, oh, look at the success story, or in 8 months' time, oh, sorry, Jack, it never worked out. But either way, putting it out there. Let's see what happens.
So this is a rare point where I'm actually going to be sincere for a bit, say I'm proud of what I've done. I could never have predicted things would go this well. And I'm happy that I've done it on my own terms as well, right? Even the one time that Simon tried to turn it into your standard BGT story, I did it on my own terms.
I think you kind of hide the fact how much you really want this, but I can tell this is really important to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is my job now. How mad's that? Which brings me on to an exciting announcement. I'm going on tour. Off the back of all this, all around England, 1,000 seat theatres in various cities, right? I'm doing my first ever live show. Part-time wizard, full-time moron. Tickets are now live and selling fast, by the way. So if you like what I do, you've enjoyed what you've seen on Britain's Got Talent, this is the show for you, right? Here comes the plug.
I'm so confident that it's worth getting tickets for and willing to put on my lie detector hat whilst I plug the show. It's going to be the best show in the world. It's going to be a pretty good show. It's the first time I'll be stepping out the garage to do a live show, and I can't wait to see us there. You're making me look bad here.
There's going to be lots of laughs, lots of magic, lots of nonsense. You're going to love it. All right, I think that you're going to love it. This thing is pedantic. I'll see you out there. I'll see whoever gets tickets off the back of this advert out there. Jesus, it's doing my head in. I'll leave a link for tickets in the description. I want to say thanks to everybody that's supported, that's voted. You've all been amazing. I'm going to go lie down for about 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to go on holiday. And when I come back, we're back at it. I'll see you later.